Hey guys, welcome back to Baddie and a Book. My name is Gabby and today we have another motherfucking book haul. I'm so excited about this one because it's another book outlet haul, and all of these books I've never heard, most of these books I've never actually heard of, which I'm really excited about. I love reading books that everyone else is reading, but I also love to be able to pick up books that are intriguing by themselves and that I've never heard of to kind of expand the books that I'm picking up. So let's go ahead and jump right into the first book. The first book that I picked up is called Golden Girl by Elin Hilderbrand. Now this one, it follows a woman by the name of Vivian. She is a writer. It does take place in Nantucket. If you follow Elin Hilderbrand, if you know anything about Elin Hilderbrand, most of her books, if not all of her books, take place in Nantucket. Little side note, this book actually came, as you can see, in a different size than the rest of the books come in. Most of her paperback books are in the standard paperback size, but this one, it's printed in a much bigger size. This size is similar to what you would typically see in a large print paperback, but this one is not large print. It's just the standard print size on this one, so I'm not sure why it came like this. A little blown that it's not the size of the other paperbacks that I have, but it's not that big of a deal. This one follows a woman, like I said, by the name of Vivian, who is a writer, and she's also a mother of 3 children. And she unfortunately gets hit by a hit-and-run accident while she is running near her home one day. And it kind of follows her in between this place between life and death. It's called the Beyond. And during or in this space or in this world of being in beyond, she has the opportunity to not only be able to watch what goes on in Earth for the last time, but she also is able to see her children. She also gets 3 opportunities to be able to change the way that the outcome of things that are happening on Earth. So there seems to be different dynamics, and each child of her 3 children are going through different things. They seem to be adult children, so I think that the main character is a little bit older. The other thing too is the last book that she was writing or in the middle of writing before she passed does have a secret that could jeopardize her reputation. So we're kind of following her on the journey to try to, protect her children, try to make the best as possible outcome for her children before she has this time frame of being in the beyond before that expires. But it also follows, as I'm assuming, those secrets potentially coming to the surface and the impact from those. So this one actually seems really interesting. I think of all of the Elin Hilderbrand books that I picked up so far, this one seems like it's the most interesting. The next book that I picked up is called The Reunion by Guillaume Musso. Now this one follows, I believe we were following 3 different characters. But we're not getting their points of view. It's just the story just is told as is. But essentially there is a character by the name of Vinka Rockwell. In her high school time, she ends up having some sort of relationship with her philosophy teacher. They have this secret affair that's going on, and then she's never seen again. Fast forward 25 years, there are 3 characters, Thomas, Maxime, and Fanny, who are all Vinka's best friends from high school, and so they are invited back to a reunion back at their high school, and there is some sort of like mystery. There is a body found. They know something about the body being found or about the body being placed there, and they have something to do with it. So I thought that was very interesting. I love the cover of this one, and I've never heard of this author, and I've never heard of this book even be talked about anywhere on the internet. This one is blurbed by Harlan Coben, and I do have quite a few of his books, so if it's blurbed by him, I'm assuming that this one is going to be a good one. The next book that I picked up is called It Had to Be You by Georgia Clark. This one is a rom-com, and it follows a woman by the name of Liv and another woman by the name of Savannah. And I think, based on the synopsis of the book, is Liv was married to a man by the name of Elliot. Elliot passes, and Savannah is his younger girlfriend. It seems like maybe Liv didn't know about this girlfriend, but him and Liv had been together for like 20 years. And then this girlfriend shows up. When he passes, Liv and Elliot actually have a business in Brooklyn, New York. The book takes place in Brooklyn, New York, that he leaves to his girlfriend. It's he. But apparently that's all that I really know about it. I'm assuming it's going to be like they are kind of at odds in the beginning, of course, because the woman's having an affair with her husband, and I'm assuming there's going to be some sort of like respect or bond that is created, friendship of some sort that's created between the two women. So I really love the cover. This was really just a cover buy for me, and Ellen Hildebrand also blurbed this one as well. Then I couldn't resist. I had to pick up Butterfly Book 2 by Ashley Antoinette. I did pick up Book 1 in a previous haul, and these are actually really hard to find for a really cheap price. I think these were only like $2 or $3 on BookOutlet. I'm really hoping and praying that eventually Book 3 will be on there as well, so I can snag that one too. Once I snag the third book, then I'll go ahead and start picking up the books. But I've heard really nothing but great things about this series, and I'm really excited to pick this one up. The next one is called Now That I Found You by Christina Forrest. This one, I believe this one is a YA romance novel. That's really all that I know about it. The cover is so damn cute. And I know that this author also wrote I Want to Be Where You Are, which was another book on BookOutlet that I haven't picked up just yet, but that I've also heard really good things about. Then we have Happily Ever Afters by Elise Bryant. Now, Elise Bryant also wrote another book that I have called One True Loves. It's got a beautiful purple lavender color. They didn't have this one in hardback, so I ended up opting for the paperback version of this one. And I really just picked this one up so that I could have a second book by Elise Bryant to read and give my full opinion on her as an author. Now, this one is also part of the same series. I'm not sure if they're just like standalone companion novels, or if they're in the same world, or if this character is someone that is mentioned in that other book as well. I have to do more research to find out. But this one, I know that it follows a writer. This is a YA romance coming of age novel, and the cover is absolutely pretty. The next series that I ended up picking up, I think this is the only series. Oh, no. I have two series that I picked up in this BookOutlet haul. This one is the first one, and this one is one that is actually mentioned all over BookTube. At least it was last year. It's not really mentioned so much anymore, but I have seen it mentioned quite a few times here on BookTube, and that is Anna and the French Kiss. I don't know what the name of the series is, but these are all the 3 books in this particular series. I was so excited. I always get so excited when I find that BookOutlet has all of the books in a series on their website. Because they're so cheap and because they have an entire series, that's all the reason for me to just go ahead and pick them up. And they all came in really good condition, so I was really excited about that. So we have Anna and the French Kiss, Lola and the Boy Next Door, and then we have Isla and the Happily Ever After. All of these books are by Stephanie Perkins. The books are so pretty. The coordination and the colors I love, and this is a YA romance novel. I'm assuming there's coming of age in it as well. Most YA novels have some sort of coming of age in them, so I'm really excited to eventually pick those ones up. I'll probably end up doing like a reading vlog with those, just because I was able to get all 3 of them. The next books that I picked up are typically books that we can find at Walmart. I've actually seen all of these at my local Walmart for $10, and they're listed on BookOutlet for $2. They're already a really good deal at Walmart, but being able to find them brand new for even cheaper, you can't knock it. You really can't knock it. So I got 2 books by Donna Hill, and then 2 other books by various authors. So I got In My Bedroom and Wicked Ways by Donna Hill. I love Donna Hill. I'm really excited to be able to eventually read all of her books. And both of these 2 books are relatively pretty short books. Adult novels, of course, adult romance novels, and I'm really excited to pick these 2 up. I've heard really nothing but great things about Donna Hill. And then I've also picked up And Then There Was Me by Sadiqa Johnson, and then It's Like Candy by Eric S. Gray. This cover, I don't love this cover. I really don't love it. So this one is a friendship novel, and then this one is a romance novel, which both of these 2 I'm really excited to pick up eventually. The next book that I picked up, which I was so excited about, and I love this cover. I wish that all of her books eventually will be redone in terms of their covers, because this one I absolutely love. This one is called How Stella Got Her Groove Back by Terry McMillan. This is not the original cover, but I love this cover. I think this is gonna be the last book by her that I've picked up this year. I haven't found any more books by her that I really am intrigued by. So I'm going to start with these, and then if I do end up liking the ones that I have so far, then I'll end up picking up the rest of her books or more of her books. So the next book that I picked up is a little bit more on the heavy side. I'm not even sure if this is a YA or if it is an adult, but this one is called The Opposite of Fate by Allison McGee. Now this one follows a woman by the name of Mally Williams. She's 21 years old. There's really no word that really could describe it, but essentially she is R-worded, and she ends up falling pregnant from this situation, from this assault. And so I think we're following her on this time frame. We're following her after the event took place, or after the assault took place, and I think we're following her as she makes the decision on whether or not she wants to keep the baby, or if she wants to not keep the baby. And in this case, it seems like a lot of people are involved in determining whether she should make that decision, or a lot of people are putting their input in what she should do. But again, it's something that's really, really heavy. It's a rather short book. But I thought that this was very interesting. The cover is extremely beautiful, but the cover, it doesn't even prepare you for the contents of what's inside the book. Then we have Let Me Hear a Rhyme by Tiffany D. Jackson. I love Miss Tiffany D. Jackson, and this cover is everything. It is absolutely everything. I do know that this book surrounds music. It does take place in Brooklyn in the 90s, and we're following a group of friends. One of the friends does pass, and the friend that passes had a passion for music when he was here, and essentially the group of friends is trying to allow his music to live on past his passing. So I thought that would be very interesting. Tiffany D. Jackson, she's a queen. We all know how amazing she is. So I think this is the second book that I own by her. Yeah, I believe this is the second or third book that I own by her, so I was really excited to pick this one up. Next books and the second series that I ended up picking up is the series by B.B. Easton called Sex Life, and this one, it has been turned into a Netflix show, which is really, really interesting. So apparently these books are fictional characters or fictional stories based on the memoir by B.B. Easton, and I didn't know that, and it makes me kind of sad because I was really looking forward to jumping right into these, but I think I would be doing myself a disservice by jumping into these without reading the memoir first for context. So now I got to go back in and purchase that book first before I jump into these. But again, similar situation to these as the other series that I picked up in this particular haul, is that they had all of the books on BookOutlet, so it was a no-brainer for me to pick up all of these. I actually saw these in Barnes & Noble a while ago, and mind you, each book is $16 a piece. So when you see them on BookOutlet for like $2-3 each, it's a no-brainer to pick them all up. But now I got to pick up the first book, which is kind of blowing me, but I have these readily available. I think I probably could just start going into the books without having to read the memoir, because these are fictional stories based on the men that are introduced in the book or in the novel. But again, I think I would be doing myself a disservice by not picking up that book for context first. And then we have a Jane Igaro book. One is called Ties That Tether. I have been waiting so long to get my hands on this book, so when I saw this in BookOutlet, I quickly threw it into my cart. Like, there was no reflex. It was just like boom. It was just like a reflex, boom, into my cart. But I already have the other one, which is The Sweetest Remedy by her, so I'll probably end up doing a reading vlog reading both of those books, maybe together. I love this cover. Both of the covers are absolutely beautiful. I know that the other one is a romance. This one is about a Nigerian woman. It is another romance novel as well, and I was really excited to have another book to kind of figure out if this author is going to be for me or not. So, and just look at the cover, like, yes please. So the next book that I picked up is low-key kind of cute. So this one is called Not So Pure and Simple by Lamar Giles. But we're following the main character by the name of Dell. He has a crush on this girl by the name of Kiara, who he's had a crush on since kindergarten. And so when Kiara volunteers for this opportunity at their church, he is quick to follow in her footsteps and volunteer for that same program. Little does he know that as a part of this program, there is a purity aspect that they commit to as being a part of this program. We're kind of following him during that journey. I guess he has a reputation for being a little bit of a player, and so that kind of gets in the way of him trying to get with Kira, trying to get the girl of his dreams, who is Kira. But I love this cover. The cover is really cute. And I'm really excited to read this one because this is another author that I've never actually heard of. And it is actually blurbed by Nick Stone. Then we have the famous Harlan Coben called The Woods. Now this one is a story that is going to be adapted to Netflix if it hasn't already. I'm a little late to the game, so it could possibly already be. But anytime I see Harlan Coben, a novel that I haven't picked up just yet, especially when it's only $1 or $2, I go ahead and pick this one up. And I think this one was about in that price range of like $2. The next book we have is called The Silent Treatment by Abby Greaves. So this is giving a miscommunication trope, or maybe like there's like an unknown factor in this book. So we are just getting his point of view. And the reason why I say I think it's a miscommunication trope potentially is because Maggie and Frank are a happily married couple. But here recently in the last 6 months, they have not spoken to each other. They have been giving each other the silent treatment 1000%. They have not spoken to each other until one day Maggie collapses, ends up in the hospital. And as a result of this, it seems like maybe Frank is overwhelmed at the thought of losing his wife, and also potentially needing to come clean, or potentially needing to figure out how to come clean about the reason why they have been silent. It seems to be like there isn't really a full reason in the beginning of the book as to why they are giving each other the silent treatment, and so I guess we're following throughout the book why they went silent all of a sudden. So I thought that premise was pretty interesting. It's a relatively short book in this case, and it is an adult novel. The cover is one of those things where it's just simple but cute, and we love it that way. Don't put people on the covers, just keep it simple and cute. Next couple of books that I picked up are an author that's kind of been talked about on BookTube, maybe just a little bit. She had one particular book that was more talked about, but I went ahead and picked up all the rest of the books that I could see on BookOutlet specifically. So I picked up Starry Eyes, Chasing Lucky, and Serious Moonlight. All three of these are in paperback, and they're all YA romance novels. The book that is kind of all over the place with BookTok and BookTube is Alex Approximately, which I didn't end up picking that one up because it was in hardback, and I really wanted to be consistent in all of them being paperback if I was going to pick up them in bulk. So I just stuck with these three. These ones haven't been talked about that much, but I'm okay with that because you know, again, I can always pick up Alex Approximately. I've heard really good things about that one, but I do prefer to start with other books that haven't been talked about as much to see if this is an author that I'll end up really liking. The next book seems so damn interesting. So this one is, I believe, going to be a YA self-discovery, but also potentially second chance romance depending on how the book ends. This one is called Remember Me by Estelle Laure, and it says here, true love cannot be erased. So we're following a young girl by the name of Blue, and she wakes up kind of a little bit unfamiliar with where she's at, but she ends up waking up realizing that something seems to be off, where she finds a note that tells her to get on the little blue bus at 7:45. When she does get on this little blue bus, oh my gosh, when she does get on this little blue bus at 7:45, she is taken to somebody by the name of Adam Mendoza. Even though at that point in time she has no idea who this guy is, something about him seems so familiar. Then throughout discovery, she realizes that she had paid someone, we don't know who it is, but she had paid someone to erase the memory of him. And so as we're following her through this story, we're following her in her kind of slowly but surely unlocking why she would ever do something like that, to pay someone to erase the memory of somebody that she loved, and also following on whether that's something she really even wants to find out. So I thought that premise would be really, really interesting. I love the cover of this book, and it is a relatively short book as well. It's a YA novel, so something that I could easily be flown through, and I really have high hopes for this book. I hope that this will be a 5-star read for me, because the presence of this book, if it is executed, this will be a 5-star read for me. Next book that I picked up is called The Last She by H.J. Nelson. Now this cover, it is so damn pretty. This is giving me Fable vibes. And I love that. At least the cover. The cover itself is giving me Fable vibes, not necessarily the story itself. What I really know about this book is we're following a girl by the name of Ava, I believe. I'm sorry, Ara. We're following a young girl by the name of Ara, and she is the only one to have survived a virus. That's really the only thing that I knew about this book when I picked it up. It is a cover buy for me. The cover was stunning, and I had to pick it up. So that's the only thing I really know about it. Next book, and I think the only poetry book, yeah, the only poetry book that I picked up in this particular haul is called Chlorine Sky by Mahogany L. Brown. Now this one isn't actually like a poetry book, I don't think, but the book is written, like it's a novel, but it's written in poetry form, which I only have one other book or two other books that are like this. The only other books that I have like this are by Elizabeth Acevedo, so I thought I would go ahead and pick up one from a different author, and this one is really, really short in comparison to those books, and I thought that the cover was really interesting, so I went ahead and picked this one up. The next book that I picked up is called Where the Rhythm Takes You by Sarah Das. Now this one is blurbed by Miss Jasmine Guillory. It is a coming of age story. We're following a little bit of grieving. I think there's also going to be potentially some second chance romance in this one as well, but the cover is absolutely beautiful. That's the main reason why I picked it up. I almost picked it up in a previous haul that I did from BookOutlet, but then changed my mind. So when they were having the sale this go around, I think this time it was on sale for like $1 or $2. And then we have another absolutely stunning cover. This cover is just everything. This one is called A Chorus Rises by Bethany C. Morrow. This one was a cover buy for me. I really don't have much to explain about this book other than the fact that the cover is absolutely beautiful. Now the last book, it's a book box bundle that I picked up, but I don't think that these are a series. I think these are just a bunch of standalones from this particular author. I haven't done my research enough on this particular author, but there was one book in this particular book box that I was really intrigued by, and then when I saw this for the price point that it was nearly 50% off on BookOutlet in comparison to even places like Amazon. Amazon for like book boxes are the most competitive, but even in this case, it was just something that I was like, it's a no-brainer. I'm gonna go ahead and pick them up. This author seems to be a very popular author, at least from back in the day. I haven't heard it too many people. I haven't really heard anything about this author, but she seems to be an author in a classic author in our classic Black literature, and I just had to pick up all of these books. It was a great way to be able to pick up a bunch of books from the same author, which I'm 1000% a fan of, and that is this book box by Miss Zora Neale Hurston. Now, first and foremost, the book box itself is so beautiful. I was kind of sad though, because the book box is kind of in bad condition a little bit. It's a little bit beat up. I'm not even gonna lie. Like, I'm probably gonna end up having to get rid of the book box because it's not really doing it any justice, or I'm just gonna have to take the books, like I'm gonna have to put these books on the bookshelf immediately and then like keep them in their spot, like wedged in between other books, because it's really, really, really damaged, which is why I'm assuming these books were on BookOutlet. But this book box comes with 2, 4, 6, 8. This book box comes with 10 books, including a memoir by her as well. So when I get ready to read her books, what I'll probably end up doing is reading her memoir first, just to get an idea of who she is, learn more about her, and then read the rest of the books by her as well, which I'm really, really, really excited about. I'm not going to take out all of these books just because this video is kind of long already, but I do want to show at least some of the pictures, some of the illustrations. So like, look at that. That is so damn pretty. So damn pretty. And I'm going to show one more. So this is her memoir. Look at that queen. Come on now. And I lied. I'm going to show one more, only because this was the book that I think is her most popular book. And it was the book that made me decide to go ahead and pick up this entire book box. And it is called Their Eyes Are Watching God. And that is what the cover of the book looks like, which is so fucking stunning. Those are all of the books that I picked up this go around. Book hauls are some of my favorite videos to do. Just because I'm in a shopping phase right now where I'm collecting a bunch of books. I'm doing way more collecting than reading right now, which is kind of bad, but that'll set the tone for 2023 to be able to read as many books as possible. But yeah, if you like this video, give it a like, give it a comment, subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye guys.